and welcome to Venture Church Online.
I'm Anna and this is Cam, and together with John and Tracy we lead our Venture community group, and we are so glad that you can join us today.
About 95% of our church family are connected to a community group in some way, shape or form, and we have found that they're a great way for people to go deeper in their faith, to encourage friendships and to be a blessing to each other in everyday life.
Yeah, and we love that our little girl basically has an extended family, that she is surrounded by people who love and care for her, and because they are slightly further on in their faith journey, we know that they will be encouraging her, they will be praying for her, and we hope in time that she can be an encouragement to them too.
So if you're connected to a community group, thank you. Thank you for being there for each other and for being present with one another today. Shortly, Tash is going to lead us through our next stop on our venturing out journey, but before she does, here are the notices.
Our next SatNav series, Parenting the Double Digits, starts this coming Friday. Let's be praying for all the parents attending as they go on this journey together.
On Saturday the 7th of June, our youth will be gathering at Simon and Tasha's house for the next youth social, which is a fire pit evening. Scan the QR code on the screen now to book your youth up, so we have an idea of the numbers.
Summer picnics are back. We have two this summer, Sunday the 15th of June and Sunday the 3rd of August at the Murray's Farm, weather permitting. Scan the code to sign up for the first date, which also happens to be Father's Day, so a great way to celebrate with our church family together. Barbecue food will be provided, and different community groups are being asked to contribute salads, sides and desserts, so do just bring yourselves something to drink and something to sit on.
The next Why I Believe event with Elaine Storkey is taking place on Wednesday the 18th of June at the Fitzwilliam Centre in Beaconsfield. Elaine is a philosopher, sociologist and a theologian, and she is a passionate voice for justice and Christian ethics. She's the founder member of Restored, an organisation committed to advocating against violence to women, and she writes and speaks extensively. Come and hear Elaine's stories, wisdom and her faith in the God of justice in a world full of violence. Drinks from 7:45 for an 8 p.m. start. Book your place on Eventbrite by scanning the code on screen now.
The last encounter evening before the summer break is on Sunday the 29th of June at the Beaconsfield School. It starts at 7:30. We'd love to see you.
Venture Church is going on holiday. Come and join us at Wildfires from the 24th to the 27th of July. We are going to have a communal marquee space which will be the perfect place to gather together, whether you're camping, caravanning or staying off-site. John Tyson is one of the confirmed speakers, and other contributors can be found on the Wildfires website, where you can also book your tickets, or you can scan the code on the screen now. We'll be camping as close as possible to those in caravans and motorhomes, and for those who need a hand getting their tents or equipment onto site, there'll be some trolleys to share around too. Day tickets will be available nearer the time for the Friday and the Saturday. If you've got any logistical questions, speak to Judith, but for now, take a look at this video to whet your appetite.
We believe we are experiencing beginnings of a very, very significant move of the Spirit. And this is an opportunity to come together with thousands of people across the nation and across the nations to get ready for what is to come.
We need to learn how to push in, to pray, to get our churches on fire, to see every aspect of society flourish and the kingdom of heaven come.
Your kids will grow in their faith, you'll build new friendships, and you'll encounter the presence of God.
So we would love to invite you to come and join us, Wildfires 25. It's time to book on. See you there.
We really value and appreciate so many of you serving on different teams on a Sunday. We genuinely couldn't do Sundays without you. Rotas have been filled up to the end of August, but as we look towards the new ministry year, we will have some gaps on some of our teams. So if you'd like to find out more and volunteer, why not have a chat to others in your community groups or email Charlie on hello@venturechurch.org.uk.
Those were the notices. Before we spend some time as a community group together, let's pray. Father, Son, Spirit, community of love without end. We come to the table with Christ, who loves to call us friends. Please, Jesus, grow our hearts into the shape of your own. We gather at your table together as family, across difference of backgrounds, preferences, and personalities. Please, Father, against all odds, make us one as you, God, are one. And as we venture out to tables not our own, may we go in the power of your presence. Please, Holy Spirit, give us truth, goodness, and beauty to share for the life of your groaning world, so that all may know they are welcome at the table.
Well, good morning and welcome to our continuation of our venturing out journey. We're coming to the end of our journey. We've only got 2 more stops to go. And of course, this year we've been striving to be more invitational in our lives, being more bold in sharing our faith with people who don't share our faith, or inviting people to experience something of Christian community. And today we arrive at the stop where we're going to be looking at spurring one another on. In Hebrews chapter 10, verses 23 to 25, we read this: "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." So the writer of Hebrews here starts with, let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess. This is where it all begins, not with effort or performance, but with hope. Our faith is anchored not in how confident we feel, but in God's faithfulness. When we share Jesus, we're offering people real hope, not a vague optimism, but the assurance of a faithful God who really does transform lives. Now, in a world that is weary, fractured, and searching, hope stands out. However, holding on to hope, especially as we navigate everyday life with all its complexities and challenges and pressures, requires courage. And that's why we need each other. So the writer of Hebrews continues by saying, and let us consider how we may spur one another on. Now, the word spur in Greek here implies a vigorous stirring, or if you like, a provoking. It's not a passive word, it's active, it's very intentional. And I'll give you an example of it. Growing up on a cattle farm, one of the best jobs that all of us kids would fight for was the job of prodding the cattle through the cattle yards to be tagged and vaccinated. And the reason we wanted this job is because we would be given an electric cattle prod. We affectionately called it the electric tickler. And the reason we enjoyed being given this job is because we would often use this tickler not only on the cattle, but on one another. And so if you got prodded by this electric prod, you would be zapped with a little bit of electricity, not too much to hurt you, but enough to make you jump and run. And when I think about this Greek word spur, this is what I think of. Prodding each other on, just enough not to harm each other, but to make each other get going, if you like. Now, the early church saw community not just as a source of comfort, but as a catalyst, a way to ignite one another toward bold love and good deeds. So in your venture community, your presence matters. Your words matter. Your courage, however small it feels, might be the spark that fuels someone else's obedience. Whether it's praying for a friend, inviting someone to your group, or simply sharing your story, every step you take can inspire someone else to take a step out too. So I want you to take a moment right now and turn to the person next to you and ask the question, when have you felt spurred on by someone else within your community this year? It could be that their faith or their testimony inspired you. It could be that they had a particular word of encouragement just for you. Or it could be that you just knew that they were praying for you and that really spurred you on. So turn to the person now and ask that question. So the writer of Hebrews encourages us not to give up meeting together, but to continue to encourage one another. Notice how fellowship, or if we put it another way, our experience of Christian community and courage go hand in hand. It's really hard to be bold in isolation. But when we gather in homes, around meals, in prayer, we create a space where courage can grow. Think about how Jesus sent his disciples out 2 by 2 in Luke chapter 10. He sent them out to go share about the kingdom and show the kingdom. Mission was never meant to be a solo venture. God gives us one another to strengthen what's weak, to lift what's heavy, and to remind us of what's true when we're discouraged. So, as we come to the end of this venturing out journey, I wonder if there's something that you could do together as a venture community to help each other, to spur one another on to be courageous in sharing your faith or inviting others to experience something of Christian community. Could you, for example, decide that at your next community time together in July, that you're going to have a lunch after your morning session together and you're going to invite people to come along to that lunch, a barbecue, and keep it very relaxed and low key, but you're inviting those friends to come along to that. Could you run a big questions night, for example, or a table talk night where you invite your friends to come along and ask any questions that they have about God, the Bible, and Jesus and the Christian faith? Could you volunteer together in some capacity within the local community? Maybe someone in your group is already involved in something and they would welcome help, others of you to come alongside them in that. Could you host a movie and conversation night where you deliberately watch a movie and then have some discussion off the back of that? Or could you do something around a hobby or an interest? For example, start a book club or a walking group, or have a crafting night, or do a family board games night, or a beer tasting night, or a writing circle. The possibilities are endless. Is there something that you could do where you can invite some other people to come and just get a little taste of Christian community in that regard? Be a great thing to think about today in your time together. So this year we've been on a journey as a church, encouraging each other to pray intentionally, to be a blessing, to understand our friends, to share and practice our story, to really grasp the gospel, to be brave and bold. And today we've been looking at spurring one another on. Now, these aren't just steps, they are actually a way of life, a rhythm of witness, and they're meant to be practiced together. Now, imagine a community where people actively pray for one another's friends and family, where stories of small steps and great faith are being shared, and where every person is encouraged to live with gospel intentionality. That's the kind of church that changes lives. That's the kind of church that God uses. At Venture Church, our communities exist to build that kind of church by cultivating a culture of faith, friendship, and fruitfulness. They are a key part of what it means for all of us to learn how to be all in with God and all out for the world. And so with that in view, we would love it if you just took 5 minutes now to fill in a short survey quietly on your own, just thinking about how you have engaged with your community this year and how you've also engaged with the venturing out journey. So right now, a QR code will come up on the screen. Just simply scan it, and it is a very short survey. But we would love your feedback, because your feedback will just help us think about next year as we come into the new year, how we can strengthen our venture communities and really embrace this calling to be a people who are all in for God and all out for the world. So in your time together today, Why don't you break into smaller groups as is appropriate and each choose one of these following passages: Colossians 3:12 to 17, Hebrews 10:19 to 25, the passage we've been looking at today, or Romans 15:1 to 13. And just spend a little bit of time reading that together in your breakout group. And ask the question, what strikes you about the nature and role of Christian community in that passage? And then you might like to just share from off the back of these following questions. What has helped you most this year to take a step in sharing your faith? Was it prayer? Was it conversation within your community group? Was it the encouragement of others? Just share about that. Who could you encourage this week to take a step in their faith or witness? So is there someone that God's particularly laid upon your heart in your community, or more broadly speaking, that you could encourage this week? And then finally, just explore the question together. Is there something that we could do together as a community group that would help spur us on to being more invitational? So like some of those examples that I shared earlier, is there something that we could do? Even if it was just a one-off thing, we could give this a go together. Have a think about that. And then I'd love for you to finish off today with an activity that I call an encouragement activity, and to include the children in this. And what you will need for this is an index card. And I would encourage you all to sit in a circle, take the index card, write your name in the center of it. And then you're going to pass that index card to the person next to you, and so forth and so forth. And I encourage every person to write something on your card, answering basically this statement: this is what I see in you. And by the end of doing that, hopefully what you will have is a card of encouragement from every single person in your community group, naming something that they see in you. Now, it could be an attribute of Jesus that shines through you. It could be a spiritual gift that they've seen in you. It could be a character trait that they really appreciate about you. But we want to spend this time really encouraging each other by naming the things that we see in each other. And so what I would encourage you to do with that card is to take that card away during the week and use it as a prayer offering to God, offering all the things that others have seen in you, the gifts, the character attributes, the heart in you, and offer it to God to bring Him glory. Now, you might want to do this also for people who are missing in your group today, and give it to them at a later date as a way to encourage them. And I also encourage you to do this for the children in your community group as well, even if they're quite young at this age. There'll be things that you see in them still, even at this age, that their parents will be able to cherish and pray into. So please do that. So then for kids in community, I've got a little activity for you called the Great Build Off. And you're going to need some building blocks for this, maybe some Lego, Duplo, cardboard, plastic cups, or you can also use some recycling materials like boxes, tape, glue, and scissors. And you're going to need some encouragement cards that perhaps the adults can prepare that have on them phrases like, you've got this, or you're a blessing, or God is with you, or keep going, or you can do it. And if there's a number of you, and I encourage you to break into some smaller mixed age groups. If there's just enough for you to make one team, that's totally fine. But you're going to be given a challenge, and the challenge is to build something together. And it could be you need to build a house of hope, or a tower of trust, or a bridge of blessing, or something else of your own choosing. And you're going to take 10 minutes and build this thing together. But you need to encourage one another while you make it. And so what the adult's going to do is they're going to hold up an encouragement card. And at that point, you've got to encourage each other with the words on that. So over 10 minutes, see if you can build something together. Now, at the end of your time of doing that, it would be great if you could read Hebrews 10, verses 23 to 25. And just notice how part of what we're called to as the people of God is to be built up together. That God is building us up together to display His glory. And part of that is encouraging one another. I wonder if it would be great for you to share, how did you feel as you were building your little project? And what was it like to be encouraged? And then at the end of your time together, it'd be great if you join with the adults, because we've got an activity for you to do all together where you are going to be filling in some encouragement cards. The adults will let you know what to do. Have fun today, guys. I look forward to hearing all about what you've been getting up to. Please do, if you haven't had a chance, fill in that survey, because we would love to hear the stories of what God's been up to through your communities this year.